Welcome back, Tribe. I have an episode here from Christina Aaliyah. She's got 61K subs. Gen Z has a dating problem. Let's see.
Gen Z have been done dirty when it comes to dating.
I hate dating apps.
Dating apps are by far the biggest waste of time.
We're living in a generation where 49% of people think how much you earn matters more than your looks. Dating app culture has created an environment where people have so many options that no one wants to commit. And people's views of dating is more polarizing than ever.
You need to ignore her, bro.
I am so tired of feeling like it's never going to be my turn to find love.
Don't talk to her. Don't text her for a week. You're going to be amazed at what happens next.
These are some very bare minimum standards to be setting. And why does it feel so impossible for them?
One side of the internet will tell you that women are too picky and need to lower their standards, whilst the other side says that women aren't picky enough and need to raise their standards.
Attractive women cannot afford to date down.
How attractive a woman is directly correlated to how faithful.
I don't really care if this sounds mean. I can't respect a man who's done worse at life than me. How did you do worse in a system that was designed to help you do better?
Some people think that women have it worse with hookup culture, situationships, whilst other parts of the internet think that men have it worse.
Dating apps are uniquely depressing from a guy's perspective because you send out all these likes, then only a fraction of those likes turn into matches.
Why is it so hard to find a man who respects you and your time?
I feel like most people on dating apps use the app as like an ego boost and they don't actually care about going out or meeting up with someone.
Men have just turned dating apps into like an easier way to access convenient sex.
We have never been at more polar opposite end of the spectrum, but trust me when I say this is literally just the tip of the iceberg.
Let's see if she gets it right.
Hey, if you're new, I'm Christina and I make videos who are feeling lonely. If you're a people pleaser, overachiever, over anything out, you're in the right place. There's a whole side of the internet that I've come across that are very anti-men. Not anti-men like men are trash sort of way, but more so I'm living such a peaceful, happy, chilled life without a man in my life that I don't need a man. I'm happy with my friend, happy with my family, happy with my job. I'm so chilled and zen. There's that side of the internet that I see, but then there's also the side of the internet that says like, this is my prime. I'm 25. I want to settle down. I'm ready to have kids. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that. And they can't find someone that they want. I've made a video on why Gen Z is undateable and how there's so many different things as a generation that we struggle with that make it really hard for us to find the right person. This is kind of a follow-up, but more a follow-up of just like how opposing our views are and how it makes perfect sense that we're struggling to date. The culture of men on dating apps and the culture of women on dating apps, the perceptions that we all have of each other is just totally different. And I feel like that's why a lot of us are just struggling right now. This comment that I saw summarized hookup culture so well. Dating for women is like shopping. Dating for men is like a job interview. I understand that men are struggling a lot on the apps because it's like you have to be really attractive and really tall and you have to present yourself a certain way. Otherwise you get no matches. Like it's really common for a guy to go on a dating app for like a few weeks and swipe on people, but literally have 0 matches, which as a girl, you can literally be an average looking girl and that will not be the case.
That happens for 2 reasons. One, the dating apps gatekeep all the features that force men to pay. They know men are the primary payers of using those dating apps, so they'll lock away their matches. They'll bury them in the search area for women that are swiping. Like, it's all on purpose. So you're getting 0 matches. It's a twofold problem. Probably because you're unattractive or just average, but also because the dating app itself is actually getting you primed to pay for its services so it can show you more of your matches. Like, it's a bait and switch. So for the first 24 hours, you're going to get a couple of matches and you're going to go, wow, this is great. And then they'll completely starve you out of anything, making it seem like you need to get the premium service to be shown to people again, to have priority on the match list, to pop up like a fucking like a paid advertisement at the top of the search results. It's insane. They do this on purpose because that's the only way they can make money. All the dating apps are shit. The algorithms actually work extremely well, but they are gatekept behind those pay features. Part 2 of the problem is like what we mentioned before. Yeah, you could typically be average and get passed up for the more attractive men, but for the most part, when they weren't so heavy on the pay to win, pay to play features, they were working. Average people were matching with average people. It's just that a lot of guys' profiles don't get shown, and the culture evolved through time to be like mass swiping, to be robotic answers, and essentially like reduced down to, okay, let's meet at this time when. So people are scheduling multiple dates with each other. There's a whole dating culture that revolved around, women are getting the paradox of choice where they're being bombarded with so many options to choose from. They don't know, like the kid in a candy store, like doesn't know, is looking at a million different chocolates and has no idea where to start, which one to pick. And it's like the shiniest wrapper that gets your attention is the first one that gets picked. and then they get pumped and dumped, and then they get depressed, and then they become bitter, and then they start to blame all men. And then that's because the only men they see are the shiniest wrappers of men. But all the bottom barrel, scraping off your feet, the roaches are crawling over, that bottom shelf full of dust that no one's looking at. Yeah, those guys are completely ignored. They get no matches at all, but they're lumped in with all the assholes nonetheless. It's kind of insane what's happening. Dating apps have shifted the power in a specific top 5 percentile of men, and then like the top 80 percentile of women, basically.
That's like quality matches is a whole different ballgame. I don't want people in the comments to be angry and be like, it's just not fair. Like women get it easier. Trust me when I say the quality of matches is not giving. Dating for women is like shopping. Dating for men is like a job interview. Again, I feel like the shopping analogy is a good one. I feel like that does paint the picture very well. It just shows that women have a lot more options. For me and my friends, when we talk about the apps and we show each other the matches and we show each other the messages and then like pics, it's just like the quality on dating app. Sometimes I feel like there's a whole load of stuff on the clearance rack. Like you're shopping, sure, but a lot of it is just on sale and maybe has holes in. It's not very good quality. You're trying to find an item that's like a high quality item. It's not in the sale. It's good quality. It's not reduced. It's actually worth the price. I just feel like that is the struggle that maybe a lot of women have. In terms of hookup culture in general, I know that's a huge thing that makes struggle with dating. I've not really gotten involved with.
And in that analogy of the quality garment that they're all trying to grab, imagine 6-7 girls all grabbing at that same dress. That's essentially what it is, all at the same time. Welcome to the dating world.
Hookup culture, it's not really my thing. I do know it's just a guaranteed way to get into maybe a situationship. And that's something that a lot of women struggle with right now is like guys want the benefits, the circumstances and feeling of a relationship, but then they don't really want the label of one. I don't know if it's just me, but I also feel like men are just sick of women and women are just sick of men.
Half of Gen Z men no longer actively even trying to date. They're not even trying. And so the question is, well, why is that happening for women? Women, first off, are dating older. They want more economically and emotionally viable men, and that's usually means older men. In addition, when young women are lonely, they have much better social networks. They have much stronger friend networks, whereas guys become kind of lone wolf and kind of literally sequester from everyone and everything.
What he said about women having the social networks and when they get lonely, I guess they have friends. I totally see that. I literally saw a girl, I think I'm probably going to watch her video next. I literally saw a girl kind of complaining about the male loneliness epidemic. Maybe not complaining, but she was definitely like having a rant where she basically said like, I don't feel bad for men. She was saying like, whose fault is this? The patriarchy. You guys created this system. Now you're not happy with it. If you don't open up, it's not our fault. Women actually open up. Women open up to their friends. I think a huge problem with a lot of these things is that people are so general. Like there's such a generalization.
Also, I mean, they don't understand that society has become super feminized. Like what it means to be a man today is extremely feminine, and they're trying to redefine it every day. To be traditionally masculine is seen as something toxic, right? They call it toxic masculinity. It's just an umbrella term to say that being a man, traditional man, is toxic. So when guys try to fix themselves with traditional methods that has worked for men for thousands of years, it's seen as something toxic, and they want them to become feminized and do feminine things like opening up and crying about your feelings and all this bullshit doesn't work for a majority of men.
Even just saying like women have social networks. A lot of women don't. Like so many women have toxic friends, or so many women, I feel like they literally don't have any friends. All they have is their family. Maybe they don't even have their family. It's such a generalization. And then the girl that was talking about, I don't feel bad for men, like men need to open up and stuff. Some men do open up. Some, like all these things are so general that they actually don't even make any sense after a while, because it's like you're talking about a small group of people and then painting it as if like the whole gender is that way. In the comments of this video, people were saying, I can't afford a girlfriend. You've got to be making 100K a year to afford a girlfriend now. Rather just focus on myself.
Remember that post in the community? It's $3.4 million, if I'm not mistaken, for the American dream now. The white picket fence, 2 kids, excuse me. House, dog, all that shit is now $3.4 million. Isn't that something?
It feels as if love is dead. No loyalty, no authenticity, no love, no friendship. Everything is an ick or a red flag these days. I'd rather be alone than have my feelings be used against me down the line. That one's a bit sad. Facts, I'm 22 and completely have stopped looking at women. I'm sure there's truth to all of this. I'm not even going to dispute that. But honestly, I feel like it's the same on both ends. It's not just men that are giving up and thinking like, I've given up on women. Like women have absolutely given up on men as well.
Julia Fox in an interview talked about how she's not dating more. I do think this is part of a larger trend within a lot of women online and just women in general of like, like giving up on men, giving up on relationships, just reverting back to what feels safe. I'm never going to date men again, ever again. Like when my friend says that to me, like I want to, go deeper into that. And like, will that really make you? And maybe it will.
Dating used to be a bit disappointing, and that's normal, but now it just feels overly traumatic. I want to be in love, but I'm tired. I'm a single 31-year-old and I'm done. Something isn't right with men. It took me 4 years of no men to realize I'm safer and happier solo. My time away from men, I experienced exponential growth in every area of my life because I was no longer held back. My thing is, I wonder how long this will last, because ultimately, you
This is the issue for both sides. You are looking for happiness and feeling complete outside of yourself. You think that having a woman or having a man is going to complete you, and that is what's missing from your life, your mediocre life, your sad, depressed existence. People don't make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. You have to stand strong and build a good foundation of habits, of discipline, stay motivated, chase goals, self-improve for yourself first and foremost. Then when somebody comes into your life, it's the cherry on top of a beautiful cake you've already built. What people are doing is they have no cake at all, and they're looking for other people to be the cake presented to them, and hopefully they love me back, and that's the cherry on top. I hope they treat me right and don't pump and dump me, and that's the cherry on top. Chad or this hot chick represents the entire cake in somebody's life. They should only represent the little cherry on top, and you've done the rest of the work. You are the cake for which the cherry goes on top of. But people are looking at other people as the entire cake themselves. This is why people are depressed. When people come and go out of your life, you become depressed. Or they're so attached to another person that they're willing to be simps, be taken advantage of, be walking wallets, spineless turd, happy wife, happy life. That's what it is when your wife or your woman is elevated to the status of the entire cake instead of just being the cherry. You've destroyed yourself. She will no longer respect you. You become a fan in her eyes because you treat her like she's above you, like a star. Same goes for women. They don't respect themselves when they meet a super hot guy with abs and bulging biceps and all this stuff. It's the same issue. All your boundaries get thrown away. You're thinking with the thing downstairs instead of this up here, and you get taken advantage of because you're giving away your self-respect to this person who didn't have to work for it. What did you expect? And most people today don't know what it means to be a man or a woman. Okay, so forget about the economic side where we can't even afford to date anymore. That's a whole nother issue that we talk about all the time, how screwed up the economics are. But women don't know what it's like to be women, and men don't know what it's like to be a man. What is expected of you, your powers, your strengths that combine masculinity and femininity together, and it makes something beautiful. When you get a very feminine woman with a very masculine man, you get an extremely low stress, happy, supportive, nurturing, and growing relationship that builds a legacy together. Both people blossom under those circumstances. But you have a masculine woman coming together with a feminized man, and then you have these clashes happening in relationship because neither side is doing what they're supposed to be doing, what comes natural to them. It's no surprise, dude, that we ended up where we ended up. I'm telling you that the culture is only headed in the wrong direction. This isn't going to get better. Men are becoming far more conservative as far as the polling goes, and women are becoming far more liberal. So as men regress into themselves and start to value more of that, quote, traditional manhood, traditional masculinity, which the other side that's going liberal paints as toxic, the division is only going to get sown further and further. Watch. You'll see.
You can kind of ignore women. Like, I want to focus on myself. Let me just kind of sort out my career, focus on myself. And as a woman, you can say, I'm just happier alone. I've got my friends. I don't need a man in my life. We can all say that, but at the core, we will all crave some level of companionship. And I don't necessarily mean a relationship per se, because we're social creatures. Like, we need connection with other people. We need companionship and to be part of a tribe. It's the reason why, like, your life could be going perfectly. Like, you can have the career that you want. You can focus on your career, make the money, or you can, like, I don't know, like, things could be thriving for you. But if you don't have either really close friends or you don't have a relationship, you would
feel like something's missing. Yes, but I know plenty of successful dudes, top percenters, guys. I mean, like from 6'4", 6'5", 6'2", doesn't matter. Absolutely shredded. They're making over $100,000 a year, easy. They've achieved a level of financial success that most Americans don't, and they're struggling. Do you know why? And I mean struggling with themselves, like they feel something's missing because they have all the material possessions. They have the respect from their job titles and all that stuff, the status, but they don't have a family. I have friends that are making maybe $60,000 a year or less, but they have a family. They have a loving wife, multiple kids. They're in it together, 4 or 5 kids, dude, shit like that. And own their own home or paying it off, almost done paying it off. And they live a humble, traditional life, and they're full of joy and happiness. And I'm watching my uber successful friends that have everything but that. And the grass is greener effect happens. And we all get together. This is a group that has gotten together on multiple occasions with men that are at different levels in society, right? From the top 1%ers to so damn near the bottom. And I don't want to call it envy, but damn, the respect we have for the guys in happy marriages that have done it right with kids. I mean, we respect the guys that are earning a ton of money too and have all the material possessions and achieved freedom. And they could afford that family 10 times over. And they're all having the same issue. I wish I had a woman that I could start a family with. Every man craves that. Women are the same. They're in those cubicles, cucking away at the IRS, working for the man, being yelled at, being broken by deadlines, working, spilling over into the weekends, answering emails and clients yelling at you, and all this bullshit stress from the corporate environment, whatever cuck cubicle you're in. And they're thinking the same shit. Is this worth it, dude? I'm fucking 32 now. My time is passing up. All the guys I want are already 40 plus. They got girlfriends that are 22. They're not looking my way. Did I make the right decision here? I'm going to need to be on fertility treatments to have kids pretty soon here. What's the point of this career? Yeah, I'm making a ton of money. Half my girlfriends are single, but I wish I was like Becky over there, the simple girl next door. Her husband earns a ton of money and she's a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. She wakes up happy every day. She's smiling and giggling. She's waving me goodbye while she's taking the kids to school and I'm hurrying off to work. Is this shit all worth it? We got the world twisted, dude, on what's important. Family is the most important thing. Children, being the head of a household as a man, watching your children grow up, your woman raising your kid, as a woman nurturing your family, cooking for them, making them meals, sitting down at the table, watching everybody eat what you prepared, and being full, smiling, laughter, creating a safe space in your home where your children and your husband can relax. You know, women are craving these things. It's insane because there's videos that show you literally that's what happens. You could have some staunch, hardcore feminist. She was in the workforce and she fucking let it all go, bro. Quit, met a man, finally fell in love, got married, and like the feminine urge to cook for him. The feminine urge when you find a man that you want to fold his laundry and clean his clothes and give him massages and back rubs and all. Like this shit comes out of them naturally. They've accepted the feminine urge to start a garden and cook meals for my man. All this shit, dude, it's there. It's in us. It's wired in us. And they're trying to tell you that there's something wrong with you if you want to go back to basic, if you want to be in tune with the deepest parts of yourself. We're wired differently. Men derive joy and pleasure from providing and protecting their families. A guy will go to work and break his back to come home to smelling like fresh baked bread, a fresh meal, children laughing, daddy, daddy hugging him at the door, the place looking somewhat of a mess because there's toys everywhere, the wife in an apron cooking and all that shit. Like, wow, what a beautiful image. Men would kill for that, literally would kill for that. If you could offer a guy that dream 100%, he'll fucking murder people for it. I'm telling you. Go to war for shit like that. And if you offer a woman the same, a stable household with a man that loves her, won't cheat, won't do any of that dumb shit, respects his family, puts her and the family ahead, takes care of their needs, right, is breaking his back for that family, oh, she's going to blossom in the most feminine way imaginable. And she'll let her guard down and all that bullshit masculine energy completely will disappear. And women crave that. If you could tell women you could get this guaranteed, 99.9% of women would quit their jobs today, right now. Literally. Tell a woman that they get a man of that caliber that will take care of them and they don't have to worry about him stepping out of a marriage or drinking his life away at the bottom of the bottle or whatever bullshit, right? Just give them what they want and watch how that all disappears. All the feminine, all the gynocentric language, excuse me, can't use that other word. Watch how that shit disappears, dude. This is what it is. Society is built on keeping people divided because you could profit the most off of them. You don't want people coming together and achieving financial independence or independent thought. It's insane, dude. Nobody sees that shit. It's all women's fault. It's all men's fault. I need a decenter from men. I need a decenter from women. Congratulations. You got fucking shit tested by society and you failed. Enjoy your cats, enjoy your box wine, and the other side will enjoy their porn and video games and whatever else. We'll all drown in our own copes and become further divided, further controlled, with our rights being eroded further and further every single year. It's a joke, bro.
something is missing, because whether we like it or not, it is, I'm sure it's on like Maslow's hierarchy of needs to have like some level of companionship or like connection with other people, respect from other people, relationships. Like you do need it as a human. It's not even like a want. You don't even want a relationship. It gets to the point where you will actually just need one. And I don't mean need like you need it to survive. You can live your whole life being single. You can literally die single. Like you don't need a relationship per se. And I know that contradicts what I've just said, but like there's always going to be something like in your heart telling you like there's something missing from my life. With that being said, I think it's healthy to have a single period of your life. Like I love how people are talking about focusing on themselves and like doing things for them, because I think if you have a busy, thriving life outside of your relationships, I feel like you can then come to a relationship as a much more whole person. Like sometimes I think people go into relationships or go on the dating apps for a bit of like validation and to fill a void almost. I mean, that
There
is,
you go.
I'm going to argue that's what hookup culture is. Like people have a void that they want to fill and they're filling it with like casual sex with people. Another thing, I feel like people are very motivated by fear in the dating scene now, rather than being motivated by hope. Like a lot of people in these comments are kind of sharing things about like how they don't have their feelings.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Don't look for other people to fill a void or for them to complete you. Only look for people that add value in your life. If you can look in the mirror right now and say, why do you want a partner? Why do you want a relationship? And that's because you want someone to complete you or fill a void, a dark hole you have in your heart. It's time to step back and do some self-work. If you're looking for somebody because you have your life pretty much tuned perfectly of how you'd like it to be, and this person just represents adding to your already awesome life, you're looking for somebody to add that cherry on top to the already perfect cake, then you are in the dating market correctly. Most people will never admit that though, because the fear of being lonely, fear of being alone, which then spawns into resentment and bitterness and all that. This is why people go on TikToks and make those videos like, I don't need man at all. It's because they feel lonely. It's a void that they're trying to fill. And so when they get pumped and dumped, for example, this is on the women's side specifically, they will say that all men are trash, all men are garbage, the dating pool is trash. It's because you got your heart broken. Again, the void is getting larger and larger as the clock ticks, because you thought you found a guy. You thought he was nice. You thought you had the Disney mentality in your head where you like projected out what your future would look like happily ever after. And the dream was shattered into a million pieces again. And this shit happens with men too. On the other side, men go on dates and they get used and they're seeing these women and like, oh my God, she has all these green flags. And oh, this could be the one. She could be the mother of my children. I'm going to have a family. And boom, she was giving sloppy toppy to like two dudes at the same time in the office. So it's like, boom, dream shattered. All women are whores. All women cheat. All women don't deserve anything. Blah, blah, blah. Go my own way, this and that. It's all stemming from the fact that you have a hole in your heart and you're looking for a person to fill the void. That's not how you heal. You have to be good, strong on your own, happy and content on your own. And then you find somebody that adds to that, not somebody that represents all that.
Her, or what's the point of opening up? Like, I'm so traumatized. I feel like people are so scared now to get into relationships, and it's absolutely valid if you've had bad experiences. Everyone has, but it's also one of those things that it just comes with the territory. You can't really navigate the dating scene without having your feelings hurt. When I was 18 and I first started like going on dates and stuff, and I downloaded like Bumble for the first time, that was a big fear of mine, and I was trying to navigate it and like message only certain people that were my type because I thought everyone else is going to hurt my feelings, or I would just be so scared of having my feelings hurt that I was treading really lightly. And I think if you want to date without having your feelings hurt, I almost feel like that's not going to happen. Human beings are human beings. Like, we will do the wrong things. We all make mistakes. There is no way that you could even navigate dating people without hurting someone else's feelings. Like, I've gone on dates and I've had to like let people down. Like, even though I don't want to say anything bad and I don't want to hurt anyone's feeling, it just comes with the territory. So in a way, I think when you are motivated by fear and you're like, I've got my guard up, I don't want to have my feelings hurt, I'm going to back away, like I'm not going to get involved. It's just like, that it's kind of an inevitable thing. Even if you don't get your feelings hurt, you might hurt someone else's. And that's not a bad thing. It's just what happened. Like, it reminds me, I was actually talking to my friend. We were talking about Hinge. I was talking to her. I was telling her, I've met a new guy on Hinge. Things are going quite well. Like, I'm not going to get my hopes up, but like, he's nice. And I was like, I'm really nervous. I think we're going to meet up. But like, oh, I don't want to catch feelings. Like, we'll see how it goes, but I don't want to get my feelings hurt. And I told her this. And she was like, what's wrong if you catch feelings? Just catch the feelings. You're not going to die. And I was like, you're right, actually. She was like, we're so scared of catching feelings, but like catching feelings is normal. Like, that is just, it's not like this big.
Yeah, but the problem is you become desensitized and broken. And this is what men are having to deal with. You caught so many feelings for your type, Chad and Tyrone, that you can't even have feelings anymore for a normal dude. You can't have feelings anymore even for the next Chad and Tyrone because your feelings have been broken so much. You go into this hermit style of thinking. You build all these walls to protect yourself emotionally. This is what we call emotional damage. Men are done dealing with women that are emotionally damaged. They can't even bond anymore. Pair bonding is broken because you've been pumped and dumped and had your heart broken and emotions shattered a million times by a specific group of men that you cannot keep your hands off of because all women want that clearance rack item that's actually in good condition. You do it to yourselves. Bro, I can spout this shit off nonstop, day in and day out. They don't listen. It goes in one ear, out the other, because nobody wants to settle, because their fear is ending up alone. So then they go into the dating pool, getting pumped and dumped. And by the time they're spit out, they're husks of themselves. And they treat all men with 1,000 cock stare. Soulless eyes. You're sitting across the table from some chick that's gotten ran through so much, bro, that she just has that like glazed look in her eyes. And you're just sitting there like, Jesus Christ, I could tell there's something wrong with this one. And that's what it is, bro. They're shut off. By the time they meet a decent man that is willing to take care of them, willing to marry them, willing to have a family with them, the glazed look, dude, 1,000 cock stare, it's already over. Her eyes, it's soulless. Her energy drained. Her hope gone. And this is typically what happens with chicks after 30, because all the 20s and the experience and the independence that they've had backfires on them. Now they're so emotionally damaged that when a decent man comes through, they'll never be able to settle and be happy. This is what men are trying to avoid. You can never make these people happy because they're always looking for happiness in other people. And they've done it so long that they've become so damaged that they don't even know how to fix themselves anymore. Therapy's not going to help because these people will never put accountability on themselves that they're the problem. It's men's fault. Men are trash. That's why you will never be fixed. Because you're always blaming an outside source instead of looking deep within. It's very hard, man, to find a woman with the self-accountability, the critical thinking skills, and the introspection to understand that she was the problem or that she needs to avoid this kind of behavior because this is where it leads. All right, where do you find these people today? They're very far, few in between. It's unfortunate. So that is why most of the dating pool is trash. And this applies to men too. Men just get burned in different ways, basically by being ignored. And that comes with its own slew of problems where men will retreat and become hermits because what's the point in trying? You can't even afford to go out on a date. You got foodie called a few times. You got flaked on the other half. It's just a minefield in its own right. And the women you're forced to date because the only options that say yes to you are like single women with like 2 or 3 kids, 2 baby daddies, you know, emotional damage up the wazoo. And you're just sick of it, bro. You're getting scraps yourself. And you've managed to build a decent life for yourself where you're financially responsible, busted your ass, worked up in your career and got promoted to some mid-level management. You're earning decent money and you just want a decent woman, but all you got left is single mothers and like obese chicks. So I don't know. It's like that funny video where that dude was like, I just want my woman ungangbanged. Is that so much of a hard ass today? So it's funny, but dude, we're all dealing with it. And until we look within, this shit will never be fixed. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, if you want to see the rest of her video, it's Christina Aaliyah. Gen Z has a dating problem. Let's see what some of the comments say. People don't want to commit because they fear they'll miss out on something better. That's true. The phrase touch grass has never been so applicable. People need to get out and talk to people in person. Yeah, I don't really believe in dating. I believe in a wonderful friendship that naturally progresses into something more. That's a woman. No shit. I heard a better saying than shopping one for modern women. Modern dating is like walking in a desert for men, while for women, it's like walking through a swamp. Both want clean water. That's great. That's a good one. Oh, man. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, comment below some of your thoughts. Join us on the second channel for self-improvement content and getting out of this so-called desert. There are greener pastures overseas, if that's an option for you, or there are greener pastures which you must travel to in your vicinity anyways. But the green pastures are gatekept. You must become a better version of yourself to get there, unfortunately. There's no way around hard work for men or for women. Men must build value, women must preserve it. I don't make the rules, but we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody.